if you know the life insurance policies that we have through our jobs, are you
Right.
able to borrow against those?
No.
Okay.
No.
What you have at the job is not only a term policy, but it's a group term policy.
Gotcha.
So you don't get a policy. What you get at work, if you get anything, is a certificate of insurance that basically your relatives will, have when you pass away while you're on the job to start the claim process. But no, there's no physical policy for your insurance at work. That is a
thank you. I didn't know
term
that
situation.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And so I'm from a service member standpoint, because the Army has gotten ridiculously rich off of our debts. Are you telling me that service group life insurance is a certificate?
Is it group term?
It's in the daggone title. I just thought about that.
Okay. Well, what we always would like to do to help you is just look over the information. But because there are rules and then there are exceptions. Now, the military, I was in the Navy. The military is a different type of employer.
Yeah.
So, so there may be some exceptions there.
Definitely.
I am familiar with, and we don't even, as a matter of fact, if you are active military, we can't even cover you. We can't.
Really?
Yes, I did hear that.
Not specialized.
Really?
That's like government.
Because part of what
like
policies like to pay out for is an act of war.
Gotcha.
Forget bungee jumping. So you're special.
Because you get kind of caught up into the war element and payout, and life insurance companies don't want want that smoke.
That's a different level.
Yeah, they don't want that smoke. Yeah. So, but if you're retired military,
which I will be in a year,
yeah, not a problem. But if you're active duty military, that's where you go to SGLI, and get what it is you need to get.
Okay, because I also have
asthma. Go ahead. I got one more question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's just say, like, when you're married and you have your spouse as a beneficiary as well as your kids and things like that, and you just happen to get a divorce, and you divorced this person, you signed the divorce papers, and you moved on, and you get a new spouse, but you forget that you have this life insurance policy with this other individual. And if I was to die, my ex,
that's the lotto. That's just a lottery.
Yes.
So my ex will get their money, even though we're no longer together.
Right. So here's the deal.
Tell me that story about that.
A life insurance policy is a contract. So under that contract, the life insurance policy
but my new husband is paying for the insurance now, but I just
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
He's a good guy.
Doesn't matter. So here's what happens. If the ex is named as a beneficiary, the life insurance company, as a rule, has to pay him. They have to pay the named beneficiary on the policy.
So don't forget.
Wanda, this happens all the time.
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
What? So you can't put that.
It happens with most with death and divorce. So the beneficiary dies, and you don't make a change. That money's going to go in a place that you may not intend.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Like you say, it was in play. It's a contract, so that's why I was asking you. And also, you said it was rules and exceptions. That's what I was going to ask.
Right, now here's the exception. So the exception is there are about a dozen or so, I think 13. What do we call it? Community property states.
Oh, yeah.
So the ex would be entitled to half.
50%.
Florida, Cali, states like that. That's
If the policy was purchased, now once again, this is getting into every state does everything different,
Right.
but just an overall rule. If the policy was purchased during the marriage, that makes that policy community property.
Oh my God.
Oh my
So
God.
even if you changed the beneficiary, Wanda, to your new spouse, the old spouse, now once again, this is law, so most people are not up on this.
Yeah, that's whack. My ex-wife gonna get the payout then.
But most people aren't up on this. We're up on this, but most people don't know this. So unless
but now you saying it on the podcast, now everybody gonna know.
No, everybody's not gonna know. See, that's what I love about people. They don't listen. They don't retain. They don't. But here's what we'll say about beneficiaries. So you should have a beneficiary checkup.
If I was to get a divorce, we also gonna change his name's coming directly off my life insurance policy.
Right. Exactly. Now, if you want to totally protect yourself, get a new policy. Because that policy that was purchased in a community state is community
property. State? Hold on, let me double check.
I look at Missouri now. God dog.
I'm gonna say
I know Texas is one. Texas is one where we are.
Texas is something else.
Texas is one of.
Oh yeah, Texas is something else.
So, and there are about a dozen or so, and we were working with a situation where the life insurance company customer service person told
we are not
told the ex,
you getting some of this money.
Like we are not a community property state.
Right. Told her.
What happened?
So then, that whole thing.
Oh, he'll be back.
That whole thing just kind of blew up. So they ended up splitting the proceeds.
Tell them about the story about the woman that you just signed. Yeah, where she had to give 50%.
That's what okay. That's what I was just saying.
And then they weren't happy about it, and then she agreed to just go ahead and give the woman, what she owed her, and that was something else.
Yeah.
So is nothing you can put in a divorce decree or anything like that? Is since the contract is already valid? Huh? Okay.
See, every state has a state insurance commission, and every jurisdiction we're licensing 20 states. Every jurisdiction does it a little bit different. Like bless you. I said this last night to my wife that every HP computer model processes things the same way, but every human being processes things a little different.
Yeah,
we're like snowflakes, and the same thing goes on with states and insurance commissions. Yeah. They process a little different. This state, Illinois wants $380 for a license. Ohio wants $10.
Right.
Make sense.
It doesn't. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't look. Thank you, Ohio.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Damn, Illinois.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. If we want to do business in those jurisdictions, we have to pay. We have to pay what they say.
Totally makes sense.
Code. There's none of that.
If you want to work there, that's what you do.
Right. We 20 minutes away from Illinois, and they have personal. We have to still pay personal property tax, but 15 minutes away, they don't have to pay personal property tax on the things they own. So I get what you're saying about state to state.
Yeah, especially like the Midwest doesn't have that I've heard of tri-state areas, but I grew up in Philly. So Philly is Delaware, New Jersey, Philadelphia. It's also Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and then down in the DMV, it's Virginia, DC, and Maryland. So there are a lot of those. But and I lived in DC and I lived in Virginia. Virginia has personal property taxes. DC doesn't. Maryland has state income tax. Here in Texas, no state income tax, but property tax.
Get you. So it totally makes sense. I got you.
They're all different.
State is always going to be the official of any rules and regulations. So I get you.
Got it.
But a lot of times, because people don't know the law, it never gets that far.
Okay.
It never gets that far. Nobody's saying, wait a minute, the contract law